I can't with you. How did you even I cannot. I had to fucking do my whole face again before coming on to record this intro. I
Oh, that makes me happy.
I fucking because I was like, oh, she's put a post up on the pod and I just saw myself. So I didn't click it straight away because I just had posted the
Oh, your
yeah,
post.
yeah, because I
Yes.
was like that fucking shit took a while to put together.
Oh, let me just stop you there real fast because your post had me bawling my eyes out because it was so beautiful and intricate how you did it. So
She spent a
the
while on that
music,
one.
I believe it. The music was perfect. You did it. You did
Thank
great.
you. Well,
Yeah.
it was all I worked on while I've been sick the last 3 weeks. I think as well, like there was, there's a temptation to not spend, 48 hours making a reel. And to just like post something instant. But I was like, no, take the time, go through, find those rejections. And yeah, so of course, dear listeners, which you'll probably know by now, I just literally mere minutes ago announced that I am now officially represented by the Sandra Proudman of Galton Zaka Literary Agency. Freaking like dream agency. Pretty sure they rep Rick Riordan. Just like that's pretty
Oh,
badass.
I'd say, and Melanie Schubert.
And Melanie Schubert. I say pretty sure like I don't know, but you always like you want to be
You,
fact
yeah,
checking something as you look at it.
yes. Yeah,
But
Melanie literally just posted probably what, like 30 minutes ago or so,
yeah.
something
Was
like
it
that.
already? It feels like 1 minute ago. It's because it's a
Yeah,
time warp.
I have been on, I have been on your post the entire time.
I
If
love
it says
that.
you had 1,000 views, it's from me because I've just been scrolling and reading everybody's comments, and everybody is so like the amount of exclamation points, the amount of all caps. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
amount of gifs being slung in your comment section. It just makes me so happy. And like I was crying and my son came in, he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Oh no, actually, I'm not crying for a bad reason this time." Like I'm just so happy. So yeah, I can only imagine how you're feeling right now.
I like I think I didn't realize I don't know, again, this is like the raw response. I didn't realize maybe how many people were still cheering for me. Like I know that
Yes.
that sounds a bit like stupid to say, but I'm actually shocked. I'm like really
Yeah.
blown away by I can't keep up with the comments and that's why I was like, let's just come on and record.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, like I don't know. I think I kind of, Instagram's been pretty dead lately. So you kind of just think maybe people aren't there, And I think we've talked about that with the podcast as well. Like sometimes you're like, is anyone actually listening? Like,
Right.
am I, but I know obviously like our podcast family is like, they're always there, but like I didn't expect this level of, yeah, I'm actually flawed and I'm flawed by the reel you made with all our friends. I was not. Actually can't even think about it because I'm gonna ugly cry again. So I saw
It
it
made
pop
me
up.
so happy. I
I
was and I was I was talking to Phil, your husband,
yeah.
and I don't remember if I was like, I think I said, "Oh, she's totally gonna cry. She's gonna bawl her eyes out." And he was like, "That's the point." And so
Yes.
that is exactly right. That is the point. Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows he knows the like woman or writer code, if you will. Like if you made your friends cry, you hit the ultimate feels. He's up to
Yes.
speed with that. But the fact you got him in it too, I wasn't expecting that. So when it got to the end, which I think you knew, that's why you put him at the end, because I didn't
Yep.
expect it. So just when I'd gathered myself, again from because I started watching it. I had to stop because I was crying so hard. I couldn't see the people anymore. So, but yeah, by the time I got to him, I was ugly crying again. And yeah, like those messages just mean the world to me. And yeah, I think you know that your friends are cheering for you, but like it's another thing to see it like that. And
Yeah.
that's such a priceless treasure that you've made for me that I've never yeah, it's beyond, my friend. It's beyond. I didn't expect
Well,
that.
I'm so glad. And I like you have no idea how long that video could have been. You know what I mean? It could have gone on
Yeah.
forever. Um, because a lot of the video, like we had in the Pub Persuasion Discord,
Yeah.
we had made a new thread and it said for everybody except for Mel. And we just at first it was just, does anybody have questions for Melanie when we do the episode where we talk all about your querying journey? And so we were going through and just, everybody had these questions, which we will get to in another episode because we're
Yeah.
going to need more time. And I think it might have been Belinda was like, well, are we going to do something? And I thought, oh, yes, we are. And then that's when it just kind of came like, okay, if any, and a lot of the friends in the Discord, not everybody wants to be on camera.
Yeah.
And so even them though, they were so excited about it, but of course some people just aren't comfortable. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I guarantee you'll be hearing from them in the DMs. But everybody in the Discord that had seen the video, like seen us talk about it, was like, yes, and started sending me things right away.
No.
And then of course I had to, get Para on, get Court, and like, a few people that I knew, um, you know, that were just buddies. But I kid you not, like I had to stop asking because I knew everybody I did ask was like, yes, and
Oh.
sent me things in. So I
Oh.
knew this video could have been an hour long. It could have been an hour ass long. Um, and so that's like when you were saying, it's surprising because I totally get it. Like sometimes you feel like you are just kind of like here
Mm,
and just posting out into the void and just and doing your thing, but so many people are watching you and are
mm.
so excited for you, so proud of you, and like know your journey. And so all of the love in the comments on your post, like it's from the heart, from every single person, you could tell.
Yeah,
So we're so happy for you.
I think that's why I can't stop crying. And it's funny because, like, when I got the news initially, I kept saying to Phil, I was like, is something wrong with me? Like, I'm not crying. I'm not like, for the first few weeks after I had the call and the email, my, I just felt like numb. I think it
Mm,
was like a trauma. I think it was a trauma response to querying for so long
yeah,
and getting
yeah.
no for so, like people jokingly say trauma, but I think it is trauma after years of just hearing no, no, no. I couldn't compute actually that it was yes. And I
Mm,
think today, actually verbalizing it publicly, I think this is probably why people have weddings, right? Like a verbal public thing of like announcing your love or something, like you have a celebration together. It's
yeah.
maybe this is the thing when you verbally announce something to the people who love you, it's like something powerful sometimes. And it's unstopped all my emotions that were like a bit like when I made the reel, I ugly cried. I've been waiting to use
Sure.
I've been waiting to use golden hour.
Yeah, I could tell because you hit it. You
Thank
hit the mark with that one. Yes. Little fireworks in the background.
you.
Yes.
I almost didn't use it in the end because it's like I know it's such a cliche song at this point, but when
No.
I put it, I had made the reel and it had taken me so long to snapshot all those rejection bits. And I actually made a single photo for each one and then did like a
Wow.
stop motion so it looks like they're just stacking. It took me forever.
I
But
bet.
yeah, but it was the first kind of thing that unstopped me really because my feelings, because I was looking at all these rejections, hundreds and hundreds, and those are just the ones I got. There's so many agencies that never get back to you. Like,
Yeah.
they never send you, some don't even send you acknowledgement of your query being received, let alone a rejection. So there's a
Yeah.
lot that aren't even there. Or there was a lot that was like multiples that looked like it was just a form rejection from the same agency from the next book that I'd queried. So some of them I cut out even like that was just some of them. And yeah, that's so that kind of unstopped my like, and then once I put it to the song and I saw it fit perfectly with the beats without me planning it, I was like, okay, I was meant to be just using golden hour because I always knew it was going to be golden hour.
Yes, I'm so happy you did. It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah. I don't want to like get into too many questions because we'll have a whole episode about
yes,
this.
good point.
But like seeing all those rejections like
Mm.
right there all just like accumulated and then it said it only takes one yes was just so beautiful. And like, I mean, it's something we've been saying for years now.
Yeah, and I
And
can't believe it's to me now. Like
yes,
I'm not fully processed that yet, but yeah.
it only takes one yes, baby. And you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was so weird talking to Miranda today and then she was saying how Sandra had been her pitch wars mentor. I couldn't get over that. I couldn't not tell her in that moment, like, by the way, I'm announcing today that Sandra has offered to represent me. That was wild. Just like it did, like you were saying, I totally knew what you meant. It felt like some weird full circle manifestation moment, eh?
Yes, it did. It felt like it just, I don't know, it like magic. It really did. It felt like big magic.
It did
That's what
feel
it
like big.
was.
It all feels like big magic to me because, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I honestly got to the point where I was just like, you fall in love, inverted commas, well, not even inverted commas, you fall in love with an agent as you like research them and like imagine what it would be like to work with them. And man, when we had Sandra on the show, I was just like, wow, like
Yeah.
I had such an agent crush on her, big
Yes.
time. But I was just like, I've done it for long enough that I was just kind of like, don't get your hopes up. Don't don't put all your feelings in the bag and then because you've done that. I was like, I know I've done that before, but I kept feeling that little like whisper, it wouldn't go away of like she feels so special and like having interacted already professionally, I could see what it was going to be like if I could work with someone like her. So it felt beyond the other dream agents I'd had in the past. It was like I could see how much I would love to work with her. Like,
Yeah.
so to actually have that person turn around and be like, well, I think you're magic too, and I want to work with you is like, yeah, it does feel like weirdly magical, big magic that it was meant to be this agent
Yes.
that my years of suffering will lead. It does feel a bit like that right now, a lot like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you really blew me away with that reel and all our dear friends. Like, I can't thank each of you enough. Like, like I put in my post today, like, and that's no joke. Like sometimes it really is that like, that comment, that DM from someone some days that you're just like, okay, no, like I'm gonna keep doing this, like I made that person laugh or like they felt that. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. And it's part of like we talk about that a lot, but like our community, why I think it's so important. Because there's plenty of days that like maybe I wouldn't have written, maybe I
Mm.
wouldn't have sent another query if it wasn't for all those people. But yeah, like I said, especially I have to say that you and just Para and my husband Phil, like the three of you the way you've just like not even let me think once that it wasn't going to happen for me. That
Yeah.
was beyond anything that like anything else that could have like kept me going like through, yeah, 7 years of hundreds of rejections. Like you feel a bit crazy, but when you have three people that you like value so much their opinion and they're like, you know, just keep going. None of you would give me a chance to doubt myself. And yeah, for that, yeah, you only need three motherfuckers, who just like,
That's it.
that none of you would ever let me womp womp for too long. You'd just be like, Para would always just be like, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. Like it's not when. It's not if, it's when.
Yes. No,
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's precisely it. And there is something so beautiful of having a community and having all these people that back you up, but also like having that close knit, tight
Mhm.
circle that no matter what is not going to let you
Yeah,
stop, unless you really, really want to stop.
that's true,
But
eh? Because I
if
feel
it
like
was
each
really,
of
really,
you, yeah, that's it. If each of you were like, you'd be like, listen, girl, if you just want to just be like, fuck it and go like work, I don't know, clean hotels in the Bahamas or something. That was always one of my like backup plans for life. If like I fucking
oh,
failed at everything in life, I always thought that I would like to work like in a hotel on a tropical island.
well, damn. Hey, that is a new book idea. And you could
I
do it
do
when
love
you
that.
retire. I
Yeah.
think, oh yeah, I think that could be something. A magical place. Well, yeah. We won't
Yes.
we won't spoil any ideas, potential ideas.
It's okay. How have
Yeah.
you been? How have you been?
No, I've been good. Both Melanie and I have well, Melanie's still in recovery, but she had COVID and the flu, or as she
hmm
likes to call it, influenza.
Is
Which
Are you laughing at me for calling it influenza?
yeah, it just feels like 1920s, like I have influenza.
Bitch, it felt like 1920s in this house. I'm not gonna lie. It
Yeah.
felt like a plague was on our household. I think I'm calling it influenza because that's what the doctor said Phil had. So I was
Well,
like,
no, I mean, it's influenza. That's what you have.
yeah, but is it different to the normal flu? It felt
I
fucking
have no
worse.
idea. I think
See, see, it could be worse.
no, sure. Yeah, like influenza is just like an update. It's a more sophisticated flu. You've got a
You
deeper
just said it
flu.
was 1920s. Well, I mean, that does feel sophisticated, but honestly, it
Yes.
felt like there was a fucking pox on this house.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, you could hear it in your voice. You sound better today.
Mm.
Still not great,
No.
but some of those voice notes a few days ago, I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, I listened back to one because I wasn't sure where it cut me off. And the start of it, I was like, dang, I sound like an axe murderer. Like, hey, listen. And I started it funny. I was like, listen, I have something. And I was like, dang.
And then like you try to laugh and then it just turned into a fit of coughs. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The cough's
So
been weird. It comes out of nowhere. Like I won't cough for ages and suddenly I'll have like a fit of coughing. So that's still
it
happening. But
lasts. It
it's like, well, this
lingers.
is like week 3 of like now I think we're finally touch wood. So it was COVID first, and I got my fucking period in amongst all of it.
Damn.
There was a
Damn.
few days there where my body was so stressed. So I was just like just shitting and pissing and perioding and snotting. Like it was profane. It was profane. Is that even the right word?
Yeah, that feels
It
right.
was it was vulgar day in those households. It was in this house, it was some vulgar days, is what I mean. So
That those walls have seen some things.
they have seen things. Oh my gosh, you killed me in your video part where you were like, your cloaca's just rising or something. What did you say? It was something hilarious.
I don't even know. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
I
all well now. You look,
yeah,
yeah, no more coughing for you.
no more. I mean, like a little raspiness, but
Mm.
not. No, we were laid out for like a solid week.
Mm.
Just Armando and I. The kids were fine, which is great.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
interesting because they say younger people don't like get as affected by it. Hey.
yeah, they were fine. Like we
Wow.
tested them often,
Yeah.
and they were negative the whole time.
Whoa.
So that was nice because you know they could serve us.
Yes,
So that
as they should. I mean, what other reason is there to have
yeah,
children other than for a
totally.
life of servitude?
Yeah. And it is nice. I mean, they're, 16 and 14, so
Yes.
they can serve well. They can go get us things and yeah. And my Adrian, my son, he's naturally very like sweet whenever
Yeah.
for me, not necessarily with his dad, but he's like really
You
he
fuss
takes care
over
of
you.
people. So yeah,
Oh, I
he's
love
sweet.
that. Well, yeah, apologies to our listeners for our unscheduled break. But yeah, we had the freaking COVID, both of us,
Melanie had the
oceans apart.
trifecta.
I
Yeah,
had the
Melanie had
trifecta, just had to outdo Angela
yeah,
with
influenza.
with influenza, darling. Yes, it sounds a lot more glamorous than it was. Yeah, sorry for oversharing my bodily fluid output. I have no filter sometimes. But anyway, I think our listeners enjoy it.
I think so. I think at this point they expect these things, I feel.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
poop or
Yeah.
go home at this point. Speaking of poop,
Oh, okay.
when when we were
Hmm.
talking to Miranda and she mentioned the duck,
Ah,
I was
yes.
reminded of a pet duck of mine
Oh,
that I took to school. They did a day in primary school where it was like bring in your animals. God
this will end
only
well.
knows, right? Let's get a whole bunch of, which is like elementary school over there. So like little kids.
Yeah.
Let's get a whole bunch of elementary, primary school kids to all bring their fucking pets in.
Yes.
Suffice to say it was chaos. And I don't have very many memories from that age, but I remember that day. And I had brought my beloved duck.
Oh.
Yes.
What was your duck's name?
I believe its name was Henry, which is
Sure.
funny because I have a friend called Henry now. Anyway,
Maybe it's
good old,
is Henry a reincarnated duck?
it could be. Hopefully, he doesn't do what the duck version did.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So I brought in my beloved duck to school and I'd put like a bow on its neck and was holding it. Now, I don't know if you've seen how ducks poop. You've seen. It's
I've seen
less
things.
of a poop and more of a maelstrom.
It's a
Oh,
squirt.
it's yeah, well, this was more than a squirt. This was like it I had it in my lap and it tsunamied on me
Oh,
at
God.
school. So that was a very dire day. I think I got given the piss pants that they had for
Yes, that was
students.
the end of the students bring in pets to school day. It
Yes.
was after Henry shit
I
everywhere.
think that was the end. Like some people brought in like goats and stuff. Like there was a lot of animals around. So no
No,
animal
thank you.
days in your childhood?
I can't remember. Not that I can remember. I remember my mother-in-law was telling us one time that when she got to bring her animals, she
Yeah.
wanted to like outshine everybody. So she went and caught a bat.
She did not. She caught a, okay, I love
Yes.
her. We would
Yeah,
have been best
she's
friends.
real outdoorsy, like she loves animals. She's got
Yeah.
chickens, sheep, everything. So like for her, that's no big deal. So she went and caught her ass a bat and brought it in a box.
As you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But I don't think we brought anything, no.
and was the bat like accepted into the school as the pet of the day? Like, did they let it in? She just opened
Yeah,
this box with a
I
bat.
think so. And probably knowing her, she probably held the bat to make sure it behaved. But here we have like little guys. We don't have those
But that's right.
ginormous human-sized bats as you guys do.
Yes, our flying foxes are quite something to behold. It's
Good Lord,
literally the
flying
size of a
foxes.
cat. Yeah, they're like, well, yeah, like size of a small fox with wings.
Good Lord.
And they have fox faces, but they're pretty
Well,
cute.
that's kind of cute.
It is kind
That's
of cute.
cute.
More
Yeah.
like a possum, maybe, but it's
Okay,
more
never mind.
feline than like I think your bats have these kind of leathery little Dracula
Yeah.
faces, right? Ours
Yeah.
aren't like that. They're like mammal looking.
I don't know if I like that.
It's pretty terrifying. I'm not, but they're
Yeah.
also super cute. If you ever come, there's a bunch of our area has a bunch of like reserves where they nest
Oh.
and
Didn't
such.
you have like weird animals in your tree one time? I think before you lived there. Did you have like a big tree?
Yeah, that was
That,
them. That was
that was
them.
the freaking bats,
Yeah.
the monster bats.
Although when we were kids, now that we're on this tangent, we had the other animals we took into school were sugar gliders, which are very cute.
What the
So
hell is
my
that?
dad found a bunch of sugar gliders in a fallen tree. They're like a fly
Like a squirrel?
yeah, but they fly. They like jump and they
Okay.
spread their little
I think I've seen them. I think
yeah,
I've seen cute faces.
super cute. Like it looks like a very cute mouse, but it opens up wing type things and it jumps
Wow.
from this. They're called something else if you have them over there. Anyway,
I don't know if we have them over
I'll
here
send
now.
you a photo later. But yeah, we had like six of them because Dad found a tree that fell down and rescued these little sugar gliders. But sadly, sadly, yeah, we probably should have taken in hindsight, we should have taken them into animal services or whatever. But back in the day, you were like, oh, you didn't think like that,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, you just
We
I'm
were
gonna take care
raising
of these
them, they
things.
were thriving, they were so friendly. But
Well,
there
what
was a
happened to them?
very large pot of honey that
Uh-huh.
sugar gliders eat nectar,
Uh-huh.
and somebody
Was
left
it
the
poison?
honey open and they all drowned in it. They drowned in the giant pot of honey.
Oh my
All of
God.
them.
That's
It
terrible.
was so fucked up. So yeah. Anyway, that's maybe too sad for the podcast, hey? It feels too sad. Oh my God.
It's terrible.
Oh, no, I'm sorry for destroying the Australian flora and fauna.
Oh,
It was
wow.
sad. Anyway, sorry for taking us on this like most strange tangent.
But it was also the way you told it because you like slowed the
Mm,
story down at the end and you were like, and they drowned. And I thought, holy shit, this
you
this
know.
really happened. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Sad
damn.
times.
Yeah.
Sad times.
Well, in better news, you have an agent.
In better news, I have a motherfucking agent. Oh my gosh, it's
Yes,
wild.
you do.
You'll have to remind me because I don't think I'll forget anymore, but yeah. Especially the more well I get, the more the flu passes, and my brain gets clearer and I'm just like, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
hallucinate that. That happened.
Yep. And now it's going to be time to get to work, even though you've been working, although you weren't
Yeah,
supposed to because you have influenza.
I have been
Um,
working. So,
yes. What have do we want to talk about what we've been working on?
yeah, do you want to go first? I've been flapping my gums. Or you just mean we as the general we?
Just
What do
either one of us can start. It's
you-
fine.
I'll give a short version.
Okay.
Yes, so obviously, um, The Knight in Rusted Armor, my adult paranormal rom-commy thing. So yeah, I've started plucking away at revisions. Like you said, I probably should have been sleeping more, but I just couldn't not. Once I started to have some ideas for it, and so yeah, I've been plucking away at revisions on that and looking forward to. It was hard to turn away from Soul Swapped, which I was working on
Mm. Oh
because I was
yeah.
really in the zone with that. But yeah, there's nothing to give you hyper focus on a project like an offer of rep. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
switching the hyper focus was hard. But that's what
Yes.
we're doing. And yeah, so hopefully you're working on something and we can race.
Yo, I forgot that you swapped. I don't know why
Yeah.
my brain like bled them into the same book, but yeah, you
Yeah,
totally swapped books.
it's
That is right.
true.
She's got books, everyone. She has multiple things to be working on. She is just a go-getter. She's just out here writing stories,
Yeah.
just working her little cloaca, if you will,
Cloaca. What
right?
about you?
Um, what have I been doing? I have been working on my third book,
Yeah,
which
you
is
have.
yet to be whatevered yet. Official, who knows? I finished it and now I finished it again and now I'm back and rereading it.
Yeah.
And so this like third round basically is like a lot cleaner, not necessarily all the way,
Mm.
but yeah, she's getting there. So
Third
hoping to,
round, you're flying, baby. How does it
yeah.
feel like reading over it? I feel there's a sparkle in your eye. You know you did the thing
Yeah.
this time, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think after this round in particular, I think I'm gonna
Mm.
really like I already like it, but I think I'm gonna dig deeper and really like
Mm.
where it's going. Um I feel like each thing I work on, I learn from the last thing and then I take it on into
Yeah.
the next project. And so like there was things with Sinner's Isle that I wish I would have done differently or dug deeper.
Mm.
And um then so I tried that into adding that into A Cruel Thirst. And then I
Yeah.
loved A Cruel Thirst, but now that I'm already like moving on and like seeing things that I could add this a little bit more, or go deeper here. So
Yes.
I'm trying to do that this time around. Just keep changing and keep getting
Mm.
better and, digging my little claws into the story. So
It
yeah, I think,
shows. It
oh,
shows.
thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Like I've had a few friends read the first 50 pages, and then another friend, Crystal, she's read like the first 100 pages.
Mm.
And like the second round, she didn't offer many critiques. She was just like a lot of screams and like a lot of, oh, I love, like so I think I'm onto something with this one. So it's magic. It's very magical
I'm not
and
surprised
fun.
because you're magical.
I'm a witch.
You are a witch.
Yes.
You are a certified witch.
Yes, it
We
is
know
true.
your dreams come true.
They do. And then my nightmares too sometimes, but that's
Yes,
okay.
that's
It
okay.
my witchy instincts have warned me about things. And you know what? I'm good.
Yeah. But I mean, when you have a
Yeah.
dream where, like, you have a third eye on your forehead and it's a cloaca, it's okay if that one doesn't come true.
You've
Don't
got
be
a point there.
afraid. Don't be afraid of that happening because sometimes they're just like fever dreams too.
That's true. That is true. I'm not too worried about that one. You never know. You
But you
never
never
know.
know.
No. We're all I'm a I don't remember what kind of witch I am, but I know Melanie's a green witch.
Yes, I'm a
Um,
clover witch.
yeah, she really is. Truly. Did you notice on the little picture that the for the video, there was a four-leaf clover? Or it might have
Baby,
been
I
three.
I was crying so hard. I did not see it. I'm
It
gonna
might have
go
only
back.
been three-leaf now that no, it should be four.
I found a
Ooh.
four-leafed one today.
See, it's your day
Yeah, it was my
today.
day today. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that a couple times so I can see all the parts I sobbed through.
Yeah.
But to say you killed it, if you ever get like overriding, you have like your media creation skills are like next level. Like
Well,
that
shoot.
was like a full like a documentary almost about like people who love me. Like it was wild, honestly. Like if you think about what you made a small film once again for me. Like I don't take that like, people have become desensitized to reels. I think I'm not like when I see a good one, I'm just like this is like hours of thought and work and like planning and like, yeah, it was a masterpiece. You have many gifts. And speaking of people with many gifts, Goose,
Beautiful.
shut the fuck up. Can you hear her?
Shut the fuck up, because no, I didn't really hear her. I heard
Oh, this
Smokey was
does
chitter
such a good
chattering.
them talk. Maybe she can hear Smokey.
Maybe.
But
Well, speaking
speaking,
of masterpieces, talented humans,
Mhm.
glorious, magnificent wonderlings, uh, witches, we did have a fantastic, amazing guest on today, and it was just magic. It was
Yeah,
perfect, the perfect guest to have
it was.
on this wonderful day. So, would you like me to read the bio?
I
You've
would
you've
I
been
would
through enough
appreciate
today.
that. Yes.
Miranda Sun is a storyteller by nature and wordsmith by trade. A lover of science as well as mythology, she's fond of exploring museums and aquariums wherever she goes. She makes her home in Chicagoland, where she drinks iced coffee in the dead of winter and keeps an eye out for magic hidden in plain sight. Her first novel, a YA contemporary fantasy called If I Have to Be Haunted, released from HarperCollins on September 26, 2023, and was a #1 Sunday Times bestseller.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that
We
feels
are full
right.
of
I
magic
didn't
today.
expect the magical part in her bio, but it makes sense.
It does. It really does. It all ties in
It
full
does.
circle. Big magic.
Oh, but no, seriously, thank you for, yeah, blowing
Yeah,
this cloaca out of the water today.
you're
I,
welcome.
yeah, I'm honestly floored. So I will try and gather myself and reply to some people and get up our episode with Rosalie. Finally,
Yeah,
I can
now
get
you
that up.
can.
Yeah, I
Heck
can't wait.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, and then yeah, take your time on Instagram. Don't get kicked off.
right.
Take your time.
Yeah.
'Cause
Did
I
you
guarantee
reckon you
you,
got kicked off just from replying to comments?
who did me?
Do you reckon it was when like
Yeah.
liking and replying to too many comments? Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know. I think I was just all over the place all at the same time.
Roger
So
that.
yeah, whatever you do, just take your time. But I guarantee you, as soon as we log off of here, your your Instagram is gonna be exploded. So
Yeah.
like a little duck turd, just
I'm sorry I took us on that long-winded tangent about ducks and sugar gliders. Why did you stop me?
well, it was interesting though.
Hello.
Hello.
I Zoom in the longest time, not since like the pitch Wars days.
Oh, so
Really?
it's been a little bit.
Yeah, except for tutoring.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's hilarious. Well, welcome back to Zoom.
Zoom University. Oh man, it feels so
Yeah.
weird thinking about how long it's been since Pitch Wars.
It's it's crazy. It feels so fast and then like so long ago all at the same time. It's the weirdest
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
And
I feel
yeah.
like this is the year that finally starting to hit me. Like, wow, like quarantine and Pitch Wars and all of that.
Yeah,
Because
right? Like
this,
we went through a lot.
yeah. Remember when, wait, I think January 6th,
Oh,
march on the
no.
Capitol while we were like all trying to get ready for the show.
Yeah.
Mel, I don't know how like relevant this is to your day-to-day as Australian.
Listen, I felt very immersed in the American happenings as a result of Pitch Wars.
I feel like that's how it is. Like you just, sorry, America just likes to make everything about it.
Yeah.
That feels
Don't agree,
right.
Melanie. Melanie, don't you dare, okay? We're allowed to talk smack, but you're not over there in Australia. Yeah, that is so funny. Like we were all going through the elections. I
Yeah.
think it was like election night was when we got like the acceptance letter. And then
Big day for us.
yeah, again, it's all about us. I don't know what was happening over in Australia, but I'm assuming some sort of quarantine action.
No, we had bushfires, mate. The bushfires were
Oh,
crazy.
yes. All of Australia was like on fire.
Yeah. Well, not all of it, but a good portion.
So was America.
Yeah, yeah, we were just like in a metaphorical fire.
Mm. It's wild because I feel like we don't, it's actually, even though it's like trauma, it's nice to talk about it. Sometimes I
Mhm.
feel like we all just hit fast forward on that period and just try to get back to normal. But they're like, yeah, like it's a valid part of our lives that sometimes we need to like laugh about or something, cry about. I don't know.
Yeah, just trauma
Yeah,
dump.
pretty
Literally.
much. That's exactly it. Well, we're so excited to have you on. I know like we've been going back and forth probably for a good solid year about and then like I would send something and then like it would get lost and then you would send something and I wouldn't even see it. So I'm glad you're here.
Finally. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, no, we're pumped. Do you mind telling our listeners just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Miranda Sun. I'm the author of If I Have to Be Haunted, which was my debut YA contemporary fantasy. It came out from HarperCollins last fall in both the US and the UK and was a #1 Sunday Times bestseller and a Fairy Lead YA pick. And I like to write sober and hate to love romance in some flavor or another. I don't know what that says about me. We'll unpack it in therapy. But yeah, I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's perfect. Yeah.
I mean, that is pretty perfect. And yeah, I mean, now I'm very curious to know. We always love to ask our guests, like, just to get into your head a bit more, what is the strangest thing you own?
Oh, honestly, I'm not very materialistic, but if I can talk about one of the strangest things I've owned, I once had a pet duck when I lived in Iowa. And so my parents were going to a duck farm and they were going there for meat. And I was like, I want a pet duck. So I like saved up money. It was like I think $12.50. This was like in 2008 before the recession. And I had it in a little envelope. This is
Oh, cute.
um labeled for the duck. And yeah, I handed it to the farmer and I got a duck. So we went home with multiple ducks and some with different fates than others. And yes,
Relatable.
Yeah. What was the duck's name? Did you name him?
Blossom.
Oh,
Because she
that's
was
so
white,
cute.
because she was white, but she had like orange, brown, like bursts. I don't
Oh
know, not the right,
Yeah,
but
my.
yeah, like markings that look like blossoms.
that's adorable.
Oh, I'm a
Yeah, how
big
did
fan
Blossom
of
do?
ducks. Yeah,
You're
I
not
was
a
gonna say, did Blossom have a different fate to the others that were unnamed?
Okay, see, that's the thing.
Oh no.
Sorry, this is a little bit of a side thing. So we had no idea. I apologize to the duck, and PETA's probably gonna come after me, but like we tried to walk the duck and it didn't go well. And also we lived in an apartment and we had a garage that was like separate. And so one day we went trick-or-treating and we left the duck in the garage and we left the garage door like open just a little bit at the bottom so that the duck could have air while we trick-or-treated. And then we came back and the duck was gone. And we were like, where did the duck go? We are like, oh my God, the duck must have hated us so much that it ran away and like squeezed through the small gap at the bottom like cats do. And it just like became a liquid and just like it just took off. But looking back, I'm like, um, my dad took us trick-or-treating. My mom was at home. So I don't know. My
No.
mom
No,
somehow
mom. Oh my
somehow
God.
it ended up having the same outcome as the other ducks that it knew back at the farm.
We'll just pretend Blossom is still out there
Yeah,
frolicking,
yeah,
just out in the streets.
on the lamb.
Yeah, she's on the lamb. That's bless Blossom.
Bless her.
Blossom, may you, I don't know, enjoy life, Blossom. I'm sure you're doing great. That is hilarious, though.
Everyone always asks me like, did you have duck the next week? And I'm like, I don't remember.
Oh. It's better
Don't
that
want to
you
know.
don't. I
Yeah.
seem to remember a certain soup that a certain pet rooster called Brandy wound up in, and I was eating it when my dad told me that he'd made the
Oh,
soup out of my pet. So that's
My God.
trauma. It's better
Yeah.
to not remember.
Ignorance is bliss.
It is. Oh my gosh. Well, that could be a story in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
That-
imagine Brandy and Blossom like
Yes.
Oh my
hanging out
God.
together.
The
Holding
soulmate.
little wings or whatever the hell.
Little drumsticks connecting from afar.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, see, you've already trailed into a whole new story, but did you know like you always wanted to be a writer?
Yeah, it was all my parents' fault. So, contrary
Ah.
to the usual Asian stereotype, it was my parents who put the idea of being a writer in my head and encouraged me to do so. And so, like, my dad would tell me bedtime stories. He would tell me about She Who Must Not Be Named, who was apparently richer than the queen. And I remember, like, I was like 6 years old. I was sitting at the dinner table while he was making food, and he told me about this girl who was 6 years old. She had published a book with the help of her parents. Or no, she was 7, and she had published a book with the help of her parents. And I remember looking up and going like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that by the time I turn 7. So like we got there a little late, but we got there in the end. So sometimes I really do have to wonder if I just got like Stockholm syndromed into like
Mhm.
pursuing the life of being an author. Because my parents would honestly like they would ask me like, how's your writing going, and check up on me as if like it was homework. So
Wow.
yeah, but they're still not allowed to read my books because there's kissing.
Yes. Hmm. We should just all agree, parents, just stay away. It's okay.
Mm.
Keep
It's
out.
not for their eyes. Was never meant for them.
Not a phase.
But I love that like kind of contrast of like they were actually the people who were cheering the most for you to do it because it's a hard thing to do. And do you think that shaped how you progressed through things, having that early influence of like, go for this, you can do this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it also helped that so I was winning writing competitions and
Mm.
publishing in lit mag since I was 8 years old, and also
Wow.
winning money in some instances. So I'm sure that if I like maybe if I like was like the starving artist stereotype, my parents would have like taken a long hard look and be like, maybe sweetie, you should just be a TikToker or something else instead. Um, but I do credit that having this strong like familial foundation in terms of having that kind of support that not everyone gets, and that's a privilege that I have to acknowledge in terms of like I think even like when I have felt not quite confident at the moment in like how writing is going. I think when I was pursuing breaking into the writing industry, into the publishing industry, this is like, gonna sound a little arrogant. But it wasn't a matter of if, like, am I gonna be an author or not? It was just a matter of when.
Hell
Mm.
So
yes.
I was totally surprised when my book was picked for Pitch Wars, and we can get into that later. But I was like, if not this book, then another book. Because I mean, I put all my, what is it? I'm not a video gamer, but I basically put all my stats points, my HP points. Or does it, I basically put all my skill sets into writing. So I'm like, this is the only thing I'm good at. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep on trucking.
Damn,
Mm.
I love it. I think that
Same.
is so cool. And I love like it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And I think that kind of separates a lot of writers,
Mm,
from aspiring to becoming an author. Is like, well,
mhm,
okay, if it's not this one, it's going to be the next one.
mhm.
And I freaking love that. I love, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please thank your parents.
Yeah, I
What
will.
about us?
And I will say I didn't get that many rejections. This was, and again, this makes me sound like this is a unicorn story. It's the first book I ever wrote. I started at age 13 or 14, and I only queered it once for
Hell
Pitch.
yes.
Hell
So I
yes.
didn't get many rejections before I like gave myself the chance to get rejections, although I got
Mm.
rejections a lot when like submitting for lit mags and contests. So that gave me a little
Yeah.
taste, but nothing quite on the scale as like, a novel. Just it's so hard and it takes so long. So I'm sure if like I mean if I don't know, but if agents had been like, yeah, no, then I might have had to take a step back.
I don't think
That's
it's arrogance at all. I think you need that to do this. And I
A
think
little
like
bit.
a lot of us second guess ourselves the whole way, but ultimately that's
Hmm.
the driving thing that keeps you doing it. I'm going to make
Hmm.
this happen when, not if. And I think if
Yeah.
you don't kind of have that somewhere inside you to like draw back on, then it's because, yeah, like, yes, it's a unicorn story, but it has to happen to someone. It might as well have been you. Like, how amazing is that? I think that's like incredible. And yeah, like, but that what you had driving you the whole time, I think regardless of whether it happened straight away or whether you were querying for ages, you would have still been like, it's gonna be when, not if. And it would have happened eventually, like some way you would have made it happen. That mindset to me is that like powerful, like manifesting, and shit happens. Shit happens when you like really put a bet on yourself eventually in some way.
It does. It does. And thank you. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. I think sometimes, I think it's a quote from the Phantom Tollbooth that I'm butchering, but sometimes things are possible because you don't know they're impossible. And so
Mhm.
I also think the fact that I started as a young writer and I was just doing it for fun and I didn't know anything about the statistics. I was just dreaming of becoming a published author one day at
Mm,
6 years old. And so I was like, I wasn't really thinking about everything. I think when you really get into it and you hear about how the sausage gets made, and then the realities, and you're like, and if you maybe have dependents, like I don't even have a fish, I have dependents to write on my tax form, then that becomes something different, I think. So
hmm
just from the age I started pursuing it as well, I had absolutely no idea. And I think if I told myself back then, I'd be like, damn, maybe I'll just be an engineer.
Yeah, sometimes just like ignorance is bliss and like living in this delusional state of just
Being
like
Delulu.
being delulu. I honestly feels like sometimes that's the only way to survive
Mhm.
this business in particular.
Mm,
Um, for some of us, for a lot of us, it's like I need to know the hard facts. I need to understand, how the sausage gets what did make gets made.
It's me.
And
I
I was gonna
love
say
that.
gets cooked, but there's all of our brains work so differently. But for
Mhm.
some of us, like being in that delusional state of like, yes, I am going to be an author. I am going to do the things and it works. And so I love like having that almost like childlike mentality
Mhm.
and you did it. I want to hear like a little bit more about like how you even got it into Pitch Wars. Like what was the decision to even like I was gonna say audition, but like submit to Pitch Wars. Was that the first thing you did? Did you query a little bit first, or was it right into Pitch Wars?
Yeah, I was just revising a little bit because I knew I like wanted to revise it a little bit. So I turned in draft 2.5 to the Pitch Tours mentors that I applied to, and I hadn't queried or done anything with that. And I was like, might as well just try while it's out there. And yeah, I had very low expectations. And basically, and I had gotten feedback from some CPs, including one that was like, it would involve a lot of major changes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um, and so that I didn't even know how to incorporate, or that felt very different to my story. And so I was sort of like in Dark Night of the Soul, I was like, wow, this needs so much work, more work than because the Pitchfork's timeline is like just a few months, picked in November and then you revise until February. So just given on that timeline alone, this is definitely more work than can be done in that time. So I was like, there's no way they're gonna pick me. I was in Dark Night of the Soul basically, and then I got picked, and I literally had to like, I literally was like, I was like, hey, I like text my group chat. I was like, are you guys seeing this? Because I just want to make sure I'm not hallucinating it. Because it would be really embarrassing if I tweeted that I got picked for Pitch Wars and then I wasn't. I had to delete it. But yeah, so I was picked and I totally did not expect that whatsoever. And the changes that I was planning to make that I would have made if I had been able to incorporate them before I submitted to my mentors, actually like my mentors, they didn't think that it was a problem at all, or like
Ooh.
Mm.
kind of taking a different direction. And so I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't get the chance to incorporate those changes because it could have made into a totally different story that my mentors wouldn't have resonated with and then wouldn't have picked.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
That's
so fascinating.
yeah.
How was the process for you, like to revise? Because it is a super fast, turnaround. It's what is it, like 3 or 4 months was the mentorship
Yeah.
program? Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a balancing act because I was also in college at the time, and we were doing Zoom University because of the pandemic. So it was just like staring at the screen all day for school, and then staring at the screen for writing, and also staring at the screen for like like doing doing like sprints with other writers or video calls. So yeah, just a lot of eyeball time. Um,
Mm.
and I think for me, I just sort of like huddled in my writing cave, and I would come back with like a finished revision to my mentors and be like, please, I hope you like it. And then we'll see how it goes from there. And yeah, it was a really, really unique experience that I'm glad I had. And I think one thing that really helped me get through was the writing sprints channel that we had. That we would just like congregate and like commiserate and sprint together, and just having that community really, really helped, because I think a lot of people, I mean, this is really getting into it. A lot of people put emphasis on, oh my God, Asian showcase. Like you get to be the star of the show and it's very public, spotlights and everything, but really it is the community, I think, that is so invaluable, plus the writing tools that you gain during that experience that you can apply to any of your works moving forward, no matter where your current Pitchers manuscript goes.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it right there. It's always the community that, like, yeah, I feel like holds us down, and like,
Mhm.
yeah, because there's so many twists and turns to this
Mhm.
journey, and those other moments are just moments in time. But yeah, like that power, and I feel like our class was just special.
Yeah,
I
oh my
can't help but
God.
think that every time we have one of our class people on, it just feels like family. So yeah,
Yeah, Pitchers fam.
Yeah.
yeah.
So after the showcase, did you query right after that? And then like tell us a little bit about the journey after to being
Mhm.
published.
Yeah, so I queried right after that, and I also cold queried as well. And I actually got my agent page trail up at Andrea Brown through cold querying. So that still works, or it did in 2021.
Mm.
And that was super exciting because I actually got two emails asking for a call, like I think within the same 24 or 48 hours. So I didn't even have a chance to like notify agents right away after the first one, because I wasn't even watching my emails. Like I have homework. So that was really cool. And I did give agents 3 weeks to
Mm.
respond. Because I mean everyone was bogged down with the pandemic, and also everyone had just started querying pitch wars, and I also had school. So I gave them 3 weeks, and then I signed with Page in April 2021.
Amazing. What
Yeah.
was your submission journey like?
Okay. It's like another unicorn. Okay. Um,
Tell us all the
Yes.
good
it's a
news.
little unicorny. Again, just want to disclaim, just want to have a disclaimer that definitely not par for the course in terms of publishing. Everyone's journeys are different and everyone's journeys are valid.
Mm.
Basically, Paige was like, she even thought that we could literally just put on submission. She was tempted to just put on submission as is because she thought it was so polished, and just it like my revisions that I did during pitch tours just really shone through. Thank you to my
Mm.
mentors, Sandra Proudman and Shannon Thompson. And but like, just to make sure, we did a bit of light revision, and it was a little burnout from pitch wars, and also I had finals, so I didn't actually get to it until after those were done, staying school kids. And then we went on submission early July of 2021. And if you have been in publishing for a while, summer is when publishing is like dead. Everyone is out of office, unreachable, and also taking a walk down memory lane. This is like the first summer that everyone in the US, at least, I think, like got the chance to get the vaccine. And so I was like, okay, there's no way these editors are going to be reading during summer, traditionally the deadest part of the publishing year, and they're going to be wanting to see their family and friends for the first time, like a year and a half. They're not going to want to read my book. But in a little over a week, I had strong editor interest. And then I had a call, and then she took it to acquisitions, and then she offered. And this was right before my 22nd birthday. And then so we notified the other editors, customary 2 week period. And then I was celebrating my birthday with my friends when my agent called me, and she was like, we've had two more offers come in and we're going to
Wow.
auction. So pretty
Yay.
much the best birthday present ever.
Hell yes. How were your parents during this time? I have to know.
I
Mm.
think they were like, that's really cool. Like, but they were like, yay. We knew you could do it and that kind of stuff. And I think during that time, everything was closed, but I would drive to the library that I went to growing up and I would just like look inside the
Mhm.
closed, dimly lit library and I would just imagine my book on the shelves.
I love that so much. And I feel like that's an important part of the journey too. And also I just can't help myself saying that like I didn't realize Sandra was your mentor, Sandra
Yeah, she's
Proudman.
phenomenal.
She is phenomenal, and I'm
Relit.
about to announce today that she's signed me as her client. So,
No way! Oh my God!
I couldn't
Oh my
not say
God!
anything because
Oh my God!
literally, as soon as I get off this interview, I'm announcing that I've just signed with Sandra. So,
Oh my God, congratulations!
so
That's
anyway, I don't want to get
incredible!
distracted from you, but I wanted to share that
Oh my
with you because
God,
I was
that's so
like, yes, we freaking
incredible!
love Sandra.
So incredible. We love
Ah, how
Sandra
did
in
you
this
do that?
household. Oh my God. Uh,
That's hilarious.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Amazing. Pitch Wars
Yeah.
fam, doing it again, represent.
No, I mean, I have
Fantastic.
chills just thinking about it because truly, like,
Hmm.
Sandra took the time to be your mentor, and now look where you are. And now it's now she's taking the time to be Melanie's agent, and like all
So
of this,
nice of her.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
It's just
is.
shout out Sandra Proudman, shout out. But like, it's just that is just so beautiful
Mm.
of any author, any agent, any writer to take the time to invest in other writers and like look where it's gotten you guys, all of us in Pitch
Yeah.
Wars. Like it's just so, so special. So
Yeah. And that's
yeah.
like, the community that I mourned was maybe lost when Pitch Wars and like AMM stopped being a thing for valid reasons. It was a lot of work, but it was so, so special. And I think it's just about sending the elevator back down.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Somehow I say this every time we talk about Pitch Wars, but like somehow
Mm.
somebody's got to do it again. But I understand like it's so hard. It's so much work. But yeah, those sort of communities are just beautiful.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about your book. Uh, if I have to be haunted, for one, I love the cover. It's always been one of my favorite covers.
Thank
But
you.
can you tell our listeners what it's about?
Mm.
I would love to. So, If I Have to Be Haunted is a YA contemporary fantasy that's about a Chinese American girl who can see ghosts. And she's kept it secret her entire life at her mom's request. But then one day after school, she stumbles upon the dead body of the locum golden boy in the woods, as one does. And they've been fighting their entire lives. He's somehow even more annoying as a ghost, which she didn't even think was possible. And he wants her help resurrecting him. And she's like, no. And he's like, I'll give you money. And she's like, okay. But that entails a magical quest a la Percy Jackson. It's full of monsters and danger and traveling through a world made of magical liminal spaces. And maybe she starts to fall for him, which is a bad idea because if she doesn't bring him back within a week, then he will fade away forever.
Mm.
Okay. Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
solid. I always like even at the start, your pitch, I was like, damn, damn. Still remember your early tweets from Pitch Wars. I was like,
Aw.
damn. What do you think
Thank
inspired
you.
you to write this book in particular?
Yeah, so honestly, it's been so long that I don't quite remember. I don't think it was one thing in particular, but if you'll recall, I started this in 2013, and that was like the early 2010s YA. Like,
Mm.
I mean, I'm YA as a whole is just so incredible, and some of the most amazing work is being published today. Like Angela's work, Sinner's Isle, published last fall. You should totally check it
Okay.
out. If you haven't
Thank
already,
you.
you
Thank
probably
you.
should. I mean, if not, what are you doing on this
Right.
podcast?
Right.
But those as a teen, like as a teen and early tween, they just hit different. And currently, at the moment, the it girl was like paranormal romance. Everybody say thank you, Stephanie Meyer. And so all the love, it was like the love interests were like vampire, werewolf, demon, angel, like I can be your angel or I can be your devil, and like I don't even know, like merman and stuff. So the love interest of my book is a hot ghost. So I guess you could just really see where the roots of my book took form.
I
Mm.
love it. Honestly, yeah. Any sort of reference to the golden days of early YA when it was just like you just couldn't get enough. Yes, I'm here for it. And you can
And they
feel it in
just
those
like
vibes.
dropped so much money on publishing deals. I just think about that sometimes. They were handing out trilogies like candy. Well, at least if I'm probably wrong about that, so please correct me.
But it
But
felt that way.
it's
It
like,
felt that way. We got
right?
some good ones too. We had
There
some
was a
good
bubble. There was a
trilogies.
bubble, I think, that eventually burst. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, they probably went too hard and then they
Mm.
flooded the market. Damn it. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Well, how has debut year
Mm.
been for you? I mean, I know If I Have to Be Haunted was a Sunday Times bestseller, so it must have been pretty good. But tell us, like, how has this year been so far?
Yeah, no, it was such a roller coaster. And I think nothing can really prepare you for debut year. I mean, you can talk with people who have just debuted and read all the posts and articles, but really like it's like riding a horse. You just have to like figure it out as you go and you just learn by writing it. And yeah, I talked little bit about this on my Instagram, but I think it really pushed me out of my comfort zone. Whereas like when I was like younger, like I never talked to the teachers. Like I would see other kids talking with the teachers and like, before class started, I'm like, what are you doing? They're in control of our grades, which means they're in control of our where we go to college, which means they're in control of our future, which means they're in control of our lives. And they're just like making friends with them. So I was just like scared of adults, scared of other teens, just like social anxiety. And what's really interesting is that I'll hear other authors who are just like so confident and so cool and so amazing. And when they go into bookstores, they'll be like, "Hi, I wrote this. Can I sign this, please?" And meanwhile, I like just blast them like, "Hi, I'm Miranda Sun, and this is my book that came from HarperCollins." And so like when watching me, they'll be like, "Oh my God!" Like I came in with sell sheets and like everything, and Chicago has almost over 40 indie bookstores in the city and the suburbs. And I've
Wow.
been to almost every single one of them. And at a lot of them, like when I walk in, they recognize me and they know me by name because I force them to just by coming in so often.
I love
So
that.
I think just getting to connect with other people, like readers, other authors, and booksellers has just been such a lovely experience.
Yes.
What do
I
you
love
think has
that.
been the hardest part for you through all of this?
Honestly, I think just like yeah, just again getting out of my comfort zone.
Mm.
And I would do it because I like felt a duty to my book almost. Like I
Hmm.
felt a sense of duty to my characters. I wanted to give them the best chance that I could because they've been living in my head for so long that they feel real to me.
Yeah.
And so pushing myself to do that was really, really hard. But like I'm glad I did because you never know. You never know. And people are really nice, especially indie booksellers.
Mm.
Yes. I
And
love that. I love that you made yourself known.
yeah, and it's
whether
like
whether
it's
they wanted me to or not. They're like, hello.
yeah, but it's like such a major thing when you are like obviously that was hard for you to do and you did it anyway to like honor these characters and everything. And I think it does make all the difference, all those connections we make. I feel like, yeah, like because it's not just one bookshop now, it's 40 that know who you are. And that's like what a
Not all of them, but like yeah, a lot of them, a lot. Just to be
Every
clear,
single one.
I don't
Every
want
single one
them.
of
I
them.
don't want them listening to this. As they probably should listen to this if they don't. I don't want them being like, we don't know you. Who the
Well,
hell
they
are
do
you?"
now. Damn
They
it. They
do
do
after
now.
that. Yes. 100%.
And they should. They really should. What has been your absolute like favorite part of this journey so far?
I think honestly just getting to see my book out in the world.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's been such a long time since I started writing them. From starting it in 2013 to it coming out in 2023 was a full decade. And so it was like a full circle moment. And when I started, my characters were older than me, and now they are forever younger than me, which is something
Wow.
to think about. And when I got my book deal, I like tweeted that I I was like finally making my characters pay rent for living in my head. So I think just like the fact that I can talk to other people about who Zach and Kara are and have them
Mm.
like know who and what I'm talking about, and not be like, have you lost your mind? It's just nice because I love talking about my characters.
Mm. I love that
Yeah.
so much.
Me
Is there
too.
something that you wish readers knew before reading your book?
Honestly, I don't know because I do tend to subscribe to the like the author is dead sort of model, problematic stuff aside, but I like to like go into work not knowing as much about it as I can and then sort of maybe learn stuff about it later if I don't understand something, like look it up.
Mm.
Um, I think one thing that I think about that is I think would be interesting if they did know is the fact that I started at age 12 or 13. I started the summer after eighth grade and my birthday is August 3rd. So my memory gets a little fuzzy. There's like a whole backstory that I'm not going to get into that involves a sleepover and like notebooks and Google Docs. So I don't have the exact date for when I started it. But I definitely started by August 14th because that's the day of the Google
Wow.
Doc. Okay, I got into a little bit. I'm sorry. If you haven't already noticed, I ramble a little bit. But my point is, people who I think liked the book will be like, wow, you started this at age 13 or 14. That's so cool. And people who hated the book will be like, wow, you started this at age 13 or 14. Yeah, that fucking tracks.
I don't believe it. I don't believe anybody would say that ever. But it's hilarious nonetheless. Now I want to ask our favorite question. And we've been talking so much about how you started this when you were so young. But like looking back to that younger version of yourself, what would you tell her? What advice would you give her? What would we say to baby Miranda way back in the day?
I think just, take it at your own pace and take it seriously, take the craft seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. And that's something that I still try to do today. And also, like, don't beat yourself up just because you didn't publish a book by the age of 7 or by the age of 20. Because I remember I was like 19 and I really wanted to finish my book or like get an agent or publish it by the age of 20. Because I was like 19, but like, I'm so old. I'm so old. And so that was a lot of stress. So I think once I finally turned 20, I was like, okay, got until age 25.
You did it.
And I mean, what's next for you? What are you working on now? Or like, what can you share with us?
So I'm working on the sequel and I can't spoil it because I can't tell you what it's about because it would spoil book one. But there's going to be more romance, more ghosts, and more magic.
Mm.
Ooh, sold. Sold. That's the trifecta. Romance, ghosts, and magic. Yes, please. Sign me up. Very
Hell,
excited about that.
hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yes. Well, oh my gosh, it's been so good having you on finally. Like the best energy. I knew we'd have the best time. And we've both been sick with COVID. So if we're like nasally, you have to excuse
No,
my nasally voice. We
I
haven't
hope you guys
recorded
are
in,
feeling much better.
yeah. But it was a great way to come back to recording having you on. So thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me.
Yeah, no, this is the best. Like, I can't wait to. Do we know when a cover reveal's coming by any chance?
Not anytime soon.
Okay, fine.
But I'll text you guys.
Okay, good,
when I-
good. This is my
Ooh.
favorite. Yeah, well, we're so excited for you, honestly, and all the amazing things that you have done, you are doing. So just congratulations on everything.
Mm.
Thank you.
And
Thank
my
you. I'm
biggest
so excited
question
for us.
is, will there be any more ducks in your future? That's an important one.
Well, I don't know. So see, Sarah Underwood, another Pitch Wars alum, and Rebecca Ross, like they both have chickens. And so
Mm.
like now I'm like maybe chickens because I love marine biology. I love archaeology and like prehistory and I love dinosaurs and birds, in case you didn't know, are dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So I figure having chickens would be the closest way I could get to having a dinosaur in
Yes.
this timeline without Jurassic Parking it all up.
Um,
Think I
yes.
think you could do it. I think
Oh,
you could do
wait,
it.
sorry. I just remember when I was 6, I got bit by a duck and in
Oh,
and in In the duck's defense, I was trying to chase it and catch it. This was in Florida.
They
And
can
it
bite
bit me.
hard. They
And
can
it bit me. And ducks have teeth, okay? They have the little like odonto.
Yes. And they have
So
that
wrong.
little hook on the end of
Yeah,
that little tiny
yeah.
hook on the end. I've been bit too, and it
On
can
the end of what? On the end of what? Where's the
on
hook?
the end of their beak, there's like usually a little thing that they use to peck out of their shells when they're
Oh
babies.
God.
And if they
Well,
clip
I'm
you with
sorry.
that, it fucking hurts.
Why were you bit? Can I ask?
I grew up with a lot of ducks, and sometimes they were just bad ducks.
Or was it bad owners? I don't know. Bad people chasing ducks, maybe. But it's gonna cut us off. I see we have like it's gonna shut us off. So I just want to say goodbye. Yeah. We could talk
Listen,
ducks all
we
day.
could talk
could.
ducks all day. Ducks and chickens, I feel like we should all have them. If I was not in an apartment, I would already have some, but you get them for me, Miranda. You
I
get them.
will. I will. In your honor.
All right.